Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness, the power of persistence. It's a word that it packs a lot of power, a lot of help into that word. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the power of persistence. Hey, if you're watching in the replay, that's great. Leave me a message. Leave me a little hello, shout out to know that you're here. Or if you have a question, I will be circling back and answer all questions. So love to hear from you. So, good morning, Debbie. So persistence, that word even sounds like effort. Doesn't even say in the word, sounds like effort. Persistence, not something I aspire to be persistent, right? Not something we necessarily have in our list of ambitions, but probably the single most important factor in the success or in achieving goals is persistence, right? One of my very favorite quotes in the whole world came from Calvin Coolidge. Silent Cal, President of the United States, 18, 19, 20, 21st president? I'll have to look that up. Anyway, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated genius. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. The expanded version of that quote, right? Persistence is defined as a firm or obstinate continuance in the course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. And Wikipedia says, in psychology, persistence is a personality trait. It is measured by the temperature and character inventory and considered one of the 4 temperament traits. Persistence refers to perseverance in spite of fatigue or frustration. Well, how about that? Another couple words: persistence, endurance, grit, true grit, perseverance, stamina, tenacity, constancy, doggedness, resolution. Oh, doggedness. So one of my very first real jobs, I was a waitress for many, many years and then entered the business world as a telephone rep and grew my way into an inside sales position. I supported field salespeople selling computers to businesses. So I had a little habit of follow-up. I would always follow up with everything. I'm a big believer in trust but verify. So every Friday, I would go through my whole list of things I had done that week, and I would call everybody just to say, "Hey, did that help I send you? Did that work out? Hey, did you get that thing that was supposed to happen? Did that answer help you?" I would just follow up. And a lot of times what you would find is that people would say, "Oh, no, that person never called me," or, "Oh, that solution didn't really work out," but they don't call you back and tell you that. It just hangs out there. So I would follow up again. "Okay, well, let's try plan B. Let's try plan C." And it was my personal mission that everybody's problem got solved, right? No matter what it took. And they used to call me the bulldog. The bulldog, give it to Tina. She'll work it till it's done. At the time, I didn't realize that was something special, or that was a trait that was different, or in any way. It made me stand out from the crowd. It made me get promoted. It invited me to California and have my whole family move to California because that level of not giving up had impressed so many people. So persistence. What makes us persistent? How do we get persistence? People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily, says Zig Ziglar, right? That's why we have to keep on top of our persistence. Are we keeping on? So there's a very famous story by Russell Conwell, founder of Temple University. And he gave a well-known speech one time titled "Acres of Diamonds." You may have heard it. It's supposed to be true, but it's the story of a farmer in Africa. And he was very discouraged, not making any money. And all around him, people were finding diamonds on their farms. And This was a very poor community, so these diamonds were a game changer, right? A life changer, riches beyond dreams. And this farmer, he was an African farmer named Ali Hafed. Well, he didn't find any diamonds on his land, and he looked for a while, didn't find any diamonds. Some neighbors were getting rich, and he sold the farm. He says, I can't do this. This isn't for me. And he sold the farm and moved on. Well, the next guy that bought the farm, walking in a stream one day, sees something glittering. You guessed it. He leans down, picks it up. It's a giant diamond. It's not even really a diamond yet, right? It's just a big chunk of something that looked cool. He put it on his mantle. And one day when a gentleman was visiting him, he says, oh, you know what that is? That's like a giant diamond. They get busy. Ali Hafid's farm that he sold because he got tired of waiting or working for the diamonds. Anyway, ended up being one of the largest diamond mines in the entire world. He looked, but he couldn't find them, so he sold the farm. It's a great story, right? Because we're all standing in a field of diamonds. We're all standing there. Good morning, Tina. My friend Arjan says she has no problem being persistent, and lucky are you, because some people do, right? But standing in the field of diamonds, we're all standing in a field of diamonds, right? We just need the skill and the ability to recognize them. To recognize our diamonds. We just need to recognize that challenges are opportunities. Every time there's a challenge, we don't know how to do something. We have to learn a new skill. We have to work a little harder. We have to keep on trying. We are seeing that challenge as that uncut and unpolished diamond, right? Stephen Covey says, look at the word responsibility. Ability, the ability to choose your response. Highly proactive people, highly persistent people recognize that responsibility. Don't blame circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. Their behavior is a product of their own conscious choice based on values rather than a product of their conditions based on feelings. From our friend Stephen Covey, right? Why do you want to be persistent? Well, a lot of benefits, right, for being persistent. Probably too many to even talk about, but let's just talk about a couple. Persistency, I'm not sure that's a word. But when you are persistent, it makes you an expert. When you continue to work on something, you get a little bit better every time. You learn a little more every time. And pretty soon you start building up your set of experiences until you're an expert. It just keep going, right? Keep accumulating more tries, more experiences. And persistence motivates you to try harder if you know you're going to keep doing it. And you know you're dedicated to getting better at it. You're going to try harder. You're going to make each effort count. Because persistence is kind of a sign of ambition, right? It's a sign that you're trying to get something done. You've got a goal. You got a vision. You have a mission. You have something you're trying to accomplish, and you are persistently putting effort towards it. Persistent, consistent. When you're persistent, you set a really good example for your coworkers. If you're in business, right? People see you working. Sometimes they're not so happy about the fact that you work really hard, but sometimes it motivates people around you. They want to be part of the hardworking team, getting things done too. It can be very motivating to be around. Thank you, Arjan. It can be motivating to be around persistent people, right? It can be motivating around people who are working really hard. It sets a great example for your children, for them to see that hard work and showing up every day is not a fairy tale, right? In fact, the building blocks of success, right? In fact, showing up every day, continuing every day, working every day on something teaches you the value of success, right? Maybe we all in our mind, we look at people who are really successful and we think, oh, how lucky they are. I love the story of the lady who watches a gentleman. He plays a beautiful full concert piano one night in her friend's home. Oh my God, he's so great. And she says, I'd give anything to play like you do. And he says, would you? Because, my dear, I've practiced 8 hours a day for the last 25 years to be able to play like this. Would you do anything to be able to play like this? Persistency, again, I'm using my own made-up word. Persistence teaches us or shows us or demonstrates to us on a day-by-day method that it does take effort to succeed. that nobody's an overnight success, that it takes consistent and persistent effort. And then all of a sudden one day, that cumulative effort explodes and everybody thinks you're an overnight success. That's how it really works, right? And persistence. When you're persistent, you gain experience. If you do something once or twice, you might think you know it. That was fun. I know how to do that. Really? Do you? The same way as someone who shows up every day, practicing every day, learning a little bit more, working on a craft, perfecting it, getting working on a specific piece. I read this great article one time. It was about the difference between enjoying an exercise or enjoying an activity versus working hard to improve on it. Okay, and the example that the lady used, she was a brain scientist, and this was wish I recorded every word she said. It was genius. But she talked about the idea that, let's say you play golf, right? Well, maybe you don't get better every time you play golf. Maybe you just go out and you just enjoy hitting the ball and talking with your friends and beautiful sun and a beer in your hand, and you get the ball in pretty good, so it's a great day. But are you getting any better? Maybe not, right? That's the difference between you going out there and really focusing on holding your arms and seeing the ball and following through and remember your training and putting it all together on a specific, I'm going to get the putt right this time. I'm going to work on this putt till I get it right. A specific work hard on a skill. Those are different ways of approaching things, right? Persistence kind of implies that you're working on it, not just enjoying it, that you're showing up each day with a purpose in mind and intent, right? Move the ball forward. The other thing persistence does, it makes you aware of your weaknesses. You show up a couple times and do something, like I said, I got this, I learned this. You show up every day, you start seeing what you don't know. You start realizing that what you've learned is just the tip of the iceberg of what there is to learn or what there is to accomplish or master. So persistence can be a little humbling. Keep us in our place. Keep us understanding the way the world works, and that hard work is what's rewarded. So maybe you want some persistence. How do you get some more persistence in your life? Well, let's see. First of all, what do you want? Right? You have to identify your wants and desires. If you don't have a destination, the map's not much good to you, is it? So what do you try? Like with everything, we got to start with the end in mind. Where are you going? Where are you headed? What do you want to get done? And then motivation. How do you keep showing up every day? And now we're back to your big why. The big why. What motivates you? What's your cause? What's the animating feature behind this goal? Why do you want to accomplish it? Nobody just says, I want to just make a lot of money, right? Yeah, sure, everybody wants a lot of money, but why? What are you going to do with it? What's it for? How's it going to change your life? What expansion of your life will you accomplish when you have that money? What are you willing to give up for it? Motivation, the big why. And then action. What's your action plan? Persistence is showing up every day, right? It's getting something done every day. What do you do daily? What do you got to do weekly? What do you got to do once in a while to get her done, right? And repeating your efforts. Persistence is about repeating your efforts. You did it yesterday. You got to show up and do it again today, right? You're doing what you're doing because you love it, because you have a mission and a vision and a giant ambition and goal, right? So you show up every day. Maybe you have to change your strategy, right? Persistence is you're working and you say, you know what, this is not working for me. And maybe I need to do a little change it. Maybe I need to do a little, veer to the right a little bit. That's okay. Persistency is I don't quit because it got hard. I'll just change direction a little bit. That's persistence, right? Rest, and then you start again. Looking at the big picture, rewarding yourself, right? Building confidence, because each little tiny accomplishment is a confidence builder. Every time you say you're going to get up and exercise for an hour and you do it, you won. Yay, you. Yay, go big you. Maybe you couldn't do the full expression of the yoga position, right? Maybe you're doing the modified version of the exercise because you're just starting and you're just building those muscles, but you showed up and you did it. That's persistence. You are on the right track, right? And one thing that helps is focus on the process, right? Again, focus on you showed up. The accomplishment isn't that you had an hour of fantastically impactful exercise, right? That's not the accomplishment. The accomplishment is you said you were going to exercise and you got up and you did it. I'm picking my guitar back up, starting to play a little guitar. I haven't touched it for a couple years. So, am I going to be a pro guitar player today? Probably not. But I can practice. I can pick up my guitar and practice for an hour today. That's my persistence, right? That's my accomplishment. Showing up, getting the job done, moving the ball forward, and knowing that there's more work to do. Got to show up again tomorrow. Got to do it again tomorrow. That's persistence, right? Another little trick about persistence that I found really interesting was, which I guess I'm sort of doing this, but I'm going to do it more consciously from now on, is to build a mastermind group. Build a group. Sometimes the people we naturally are around every day, or our coworkers, maybe they're not the most positive, supportive, rah-rah to be around you as you're trying to accomplish something. You got to have those people around you. You've got to consciously go out and get them, find them, pull them into your life. And maybe they're not even real people. Maybe they're just people whose stories you admire, so you emulate who they were and how they behaved. But anyone who's persistently successful, chances are they're not doing it alone. Chances are they have a mentor, or they have someone that they look up to, or someone who they have admired and followed and emulated. Right? Build you a mastermind group. Who's going to help you? Who's going to help you get where you're going to go? Who are you going to call on that day when I just don't feel it, but you really want to do it, right? But you really need a little, call me. I'm great at that. Who's your friend that you're going to call to get that little bolt, to get you back into the persistency game, right? And then develop discipline and habit. Jim Rohn, he's a motivational speaker, right? He's a how to get things done guy. He says discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. This is the sludge, right? This is where persistence comes in. Like I said, the word even sounds like hard work, persistence. This is the sludge of showing up every single day, moving the ball forward, keeping your eye on the big picture, ignoring that little thing that says, just stay in bed this morning. Nobody's watching your show anyway. It's okay if you don't get up and go do it. Who would notice? No, right? I got a big picture. I'm persistent. I got a big goal. So, habits of highly consistent people. What do highly consistent people or persistent people do that makes the difference, right? Well, again, they have an all-consuming vision, a burning desire, a big why, something that is driving you, compelling you. It's easy to persist when you hold a vision about the end game, right? It's easy for me to persist on getting up at 5 a.m. and being here to do this show every morning at 7 because A, I love it, but B, I got a big goal in mind. I got a vision. I got a place I want to go, and this is my path to get there. So, showing up every day. Inner confidence. People who are persistent have the inner confidence to show up. And by the way, let's talk about inner confidence. Inner confidence doesn't mean you believe that you're just like you never have a doubt. Like everything is like, I'm so great. I can do this. I'm going to get up every morning. Inner confidence is on those days you get up and you just don't feel like it. And you say to yourself, well, I did it yesterday. I can do it again today. Oh, well, you know what? That one day when I didn't feel like showing up, and then it turned out being my best show ever. I can show up today. Inner confidence is seeing every day that little bit that you're getting done, that little bit that you're inching forward, that improvement over yesterday, that accomplishment that wasn't there before, that skill that is definitely on the rise, right? It's seeing that. Being confidence is seeing that acknowledging it, owning it, letting yourself feel proud of yourself for that, and then using that pride as a little booster, a little cushion when you have those days where you feel like nobody wants to hear what I have to say, right? You pull out those accomplishments. Well, what about those nice things people did say? What about the feedback I've gotten on how much the show has helped people, right? Inner confidence. People who achieve great things are often weirdos, right? People who achieve great things often step outside of the boundary of norms, right? They sometimes look odd to other people because they've envisioned something that is not yet reality. And they are so committed to that vision because they see it. They see it as if it really has already happened. And the rest of us are all like, that guy's crazy. Elon Musk. Okay, kind of a strange fellow. And yet, look what he's doing in the world around us. Always stirring up pots, making stuff happen. He said he was an alien. I saw him on Joe Rogan admit, well, I'm an alien. Joe asked him, how can you be so much smarter than all the other people in the room? He said, well, I am an alien. Doesn't matter. What do we care? But boy, he has a vision, and he is persistent, and he's making things happen, right? Henry Ford, we all know Henry Ford, right? Invented the assembly line, changed the way we do mass production, changed the way manufacturing is approached. Genius, right? Guy changed the world. Henry Ford marched to his own drummer, right? He did not tolerate fools. His favorite thing to say was, don't complain and don't explain. One time he got sued. Somebody sued him for, I can't remember exactly what he was sued for, but he was forced to sit on the witness stand and prove his knowledge of his industry and what he was trying to do, because he was doing things no one had ever heard of before. And it was so crazy that they put him on trial. And he proved to them, hey, they kept asking questions. Do you know this? Do you know that? Nope. Finally, they said, how can you make all these changes when you don't even know these things? Henry Ford said, I can get a guy on the phone and get the answers to those questions in 5 minutes. Why do I need to muck up my head with useless facts? Okay, kind of a tangent, but you know what I mean. Persistent people who have a vision, who have an ambition, who see and want to create something in the world that has not been created before, may appear strange to the rest of us, may appear out of step. That's because people who have a big dream and are persistent know who they are and what they want. They may march to the beat of their own drummer, but they're not that worried about what other people think of them because they're looking at the big picture. Good morning, Betsy. Oh, my show's growing. The people are coming. All right. Back to our list of what makes persistent people. Highly developed habits. Jim Rohn, we talked about him before. He also said motivation is what gets you started. Habits, what's keep you going. We talked about this a couple days ago under self-discipline, right? Developing habits. Habits run the world. It's not what... Patterns, right? Persistent patterns. I used to tell my children all the time when they would get in trouble, how come that I'm in trouble and he's not in trouble? How come I got yelled at, but that one didn't? Life is about patterns. It's not what we do one time. Everybody gets a mulligan. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody stays in bed one day and pulls the covers up over their head and says, I just can't do it today. Everybody gets one, right? But it's that persistency. It's that you just get, but every other day you show up. If once a week you stay in bed and pull the covers up, that's a bad pattern. That's a habit. If you do it once, because once life was just really hard for you that day and you couldn't get up, but every other day you're getting up, you have developed a habit. Habits, consistency. And highly persistent people have the ability to adjust and adapt. Honestly, I am I have learned to prize the trait of being flexible, of being able to roll with the punches, of being able to say, this is what we planned, but this is what's going to happen. Okay, without getting your feathers all ruffled. Ongoing learning and self-development, right? That's what comes from being flexible. I think persistent people are adaptable and flexible. Nothing goes right every day, but you got to keep showing up. You got to keep doing what you got to do, right? In the face of no matter what. And again, back to the mastermind group, the final thing is persistent people have role models. They have someone that they're emulating, that they're modeling, that they look up to. Because persistent people understand that there's never an end, right? The journey is the lesson is the journey. The journey is the lesson. There's no end date. There's no arriving. Sure, we accomplish things. Sure, we set a goal and we might accomplish them. Yay. What happens? Still got to get up the next day. New goals, new accomplishments. Probably not the only thing you want to get done, right? We all have a list of things we want to accomplish in life. And truly, I go back to the quote at the beginning of this show. The only thing, nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, press on, has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. I love that quote so much I read it twice. Calvin Coolidge. All right, well, I'm going to end today with a poem. A poem? It's been such a long time since we read a poem. I'm going to reach over, do a shameless plug from the book, there we go. The Queen of Happiness, another, there we go. Well, you see where it says my copy. This is my working copy. The Queen of Happiness and other poems that will lift you up, dust you off, and lead you to a happier tomorrow, even if you don't like most poetry. Available on Amazon, or send me a DM or a message here, and I will send you a link to how to get the e-version with all the bonuses. Bonuses like me reading each of the poems, an audio file of me reading each of the poems out loud. And also a bonus book of poems you can use every day, birthday poems, anniversary poems, graduation poems. Okay, but today I thought I'd read this poem. It's one of my favorites. I wrote it years and years ago, but it's one of my favorites. It's called Not the Lesson. When things are good and times are, oh, I can't see it because my camera is hiding it. All right, let's try it again. When things are good and times are high, we seldom stop to question why or take the chance to jeopardize the sweet release that bliss supplies. No questions asked or analyzed as current pleasures tantalized. Forgotten in felicity, the joys found in simplicity. To bask in moments purely grand oblige, no urge to understand. And though as much as any soul I love the moment's happiness, I also know at times we stroll along the anguish of distress. When days are dark and all is lost, we're forced to face what most we fear, of what we have and what it cost, and to which values we adhere. As patience, strength, and faith are tested, future wisdoms all are vested, lessons learned we grow beyond, expand our lives and break the bonds of chains we make of limitations, rejecting all their implications, unaware that tribulations often lead to inspirations. Pain and suffering rarely seen as not the lesson, but the mean. So revel when the glory days bring sunshine across your course. Diminish not the happy ways you join in union with your source. But in times when hope seems far away, when grace and courage are required, take heart that what you give today is not half as much as you've acquired. That seemed kind of appropriate to me for a talk about persistence. So that's our show. Leave me a comment if you liked it. If you enjoyed the show and you know somebody that might benefit from it, love it if you shared it. Love it if you tagged me and let me know what you were thinking, or if there's anything up you'd love to chat about. Send me a note. I would love it. Anyway, until tomorrow, enjoy your cup, enjoy your cup of joe or tea or whatever you're having this morning. Set your sights on what it is you love, what it is you're trying to accomplish, and do what you got to do to make it a happy day. Until tomorrow. Okay, and now, until tomorrow.